Morning. Namaste, shalom, assalamu alaikum. And hold on a minute. I wrote it down. I was going to try and say in Sikh, but I need to double check it because my handwriting is so atrocious when I get excited. I can't read my own handwriting, which doesn't really help, does it? Let me just check. Hold on. Oh, it's that, is it? Oh, it's not coming up. It's taking too long. Right, listen. I've been up since 4. Getting up with the sun is cool, but I haven't obviously done a video for a couple of days because I've just been recharging the batteries. Sorry about this. My bloody incense stick. Mother's India fragrances, guys. There is we've got a massive problem. And it is, I don't understand how people are so not interested in what's going on right now, or like the politics of this country. Like, at least in America, people are getting involved, and it is scary. It's scary that people are just lapping this shit up like they haven't just had an entire year of fuck-ups. Like an entire year of fuck-ups, an entire year of lies, an entire year of corruption constantly coming out, and people are not, the voting population are not paying attention, and it is of grave concern. Because I've just seen, I had a whole thing, I've got 2 days worth of stuff to go through, and there's no way I'm going to get it done it all now. But I was just about to do this. I put the news on, never a good idea, and they're putting through 27 pieces. I'm going to check all 27 pieces of legislation first off that they're supposed to be putting through. But the one that concerned me the most, just from the title and the very brief description they gave, this is annoying, it's because I've got the door open, that we are also passing a voting bill. And I find that very strange. Do you not find that strange? So the voting bill that they've done in Georgia, and they're kind of trying to sweep it under the carpet. Oh, it's just IDs. It's so much more than just IDs. It's a method of silencing the people. And if less people can vote, and it's generally targeted at those that are in lower economic groups, and with that is ethnic diversity, diverse groups. So they're just silencing that whole section of society, because it's not just having an ID. Obviously, the way that they're sort of pitching it is, oh, it's just an ID, everyone has an ID, but it's not. It's, you know, some people don't have IDs. So, the cost of the ID on itself, you have to do all of, you have to have the time it takes to go. And I did put a video on someone else talking about it much more eloquently than I'm going to right about now. It is 10 to 7 in the morning. But it's not that, it's just the cost of the ID. It's the filling the paperwork out. It's the time it takes to, if you have to go to somewhere to go and get that ID in person, if you know, the time it takes in travel, the cost it takes in travel, that do you have to take a day off? People don't have this kind of time, because generally you might be, you know, if you're in a lower wage job, you're going to be working long hours. You might have more than one job. You might have children. These are just things that are just impossible, and a lot harder to do. And that's basically, it is a method of silencing people. It's a method of making it so difficult that though people in certain groups and certain classes won't be able to vote. And it's not just about the ID, it's that also in the American bill, it's they're cancelling early votes. They're stopping posting votes. They're changing the only to 1 day on the election day, and only between certain hours and stuff like that. And it changes in different places. But it's like, again, even that, who realistically, who's gonna let everyone have the same day off every year as an extra day? That would be a but nowhere's going to let everyone off to vote on 1 day. And then you also means that then everywhere will have huge queues. So even if you do go, will you get to vote? I mean, the sort of ramifications of it are never ending, and it is solely targeted at people that are from lower income families and from different ethnic minorities. So it is so racist. It is racist, and it is a method by which, and obviously because it's by the GOP, they don't want anyone else to vote for anyone other than Republican, is what it is. And that's generally rich white people. I mean, it's a joke. And then equally as concerning, sorry, is that we're following suit. Why? It's almost the same thing. From what there was, you know, the brief description. Obviously, I haven't seen it. They haven't released it. It's the first I've heard of it. So the election bill that they're gonna try and bring through here is doing the exact same thing. Who's in charge? Is this? Are we in a dictatorship now? Is this what this is? Because it feels like it. It feels like it is. And they're trying to. My mind is blown, like how they just had these by-elections, yeah. And I literally don't know how it is conceivable that the Conservatives won. I can't even fathom it. And when they went round the town, one of the main ones that Conservatives won they hadn't won before, people weren't interested in the corruption. Everyone should be fucking interested in the corruption. Literally every single person. And not only that, they didn't even have that many people turn out. Like, what? What is going on? I mean, the people, We vote for them, and now they're changing the. We have voted for them to do best for us, which they haven't, and now they're changing the law to silence us. That is a dictatorship. That ain't a democracy. No. Mind you, they do support other dictatorships though, so that wouldn't surprise me. They're very good at it. They actually advise other people on how to do it well. So we're probably actually in one, since all of our, many of the elite ruling class, top tier government bods travel around the world, send our military there, help dictators dictate. So of course, makes sense. We've got a massive fucking problem, people. Like, people need to get themselves ready. So the other thing I saw yesterday, this is it. So have you seen? Sorry. Have you seen the way that the press have suddenly jumped on the biological weapon bandwagon, blaming it on China, right? You've seen it. You can't have missed it because every channel's saying the same fucking thing, right? So apart from the fact that loads of people have said it's a bioweapon for ages, the other important thing to remember is that even though the lab is in China, does not mean it is China's fault. And that is this is the problem I've got, because you follow the money. You always follow the money, and I've been saying for ages because I investigated this before, and that is the Wuhan lab is funded by America, UK, and Europe. It is not China. It is just in China. Let's just get that straight. It'd be like, British embassy being in America. But it's British, isn't it? It's just a lab that's in China. It's funded by America, UK, and Europe. Let's just get that clear. It's not China. And I've been saying that for ages because there is you Google it. There is loads. I've already, in fact, just go through my old videos and you see all the links to the various bits of evidence that prove that those people fund it. Right. So then the question becomes, why would mainstream media? Because also the funniest thing, again, that the way that, what was it I showed you the other day? I can't think now. So basically what they do is they'll have like one channel and they'll go, according to, because actually if you I've watched loads of different clips, loads of different channels, and they all refer to a document. That document I cannot find anywhere for love nor money, right? And all they just keep referencing this sort of one statement, which is, it's great evidence that it's China and but they don't actually produce in front of the public on their media channels the document. All they say is they just refer to a document. They refer to a document, but they don't actually show you it. They don't, highlight any sections of it, and then the only other way that they sort of confirm it is by going, according to another media organization that's owned by the devil, Murdoch, is they are confirming this document, but they all do it and they go around in circles. So one will go, I can't think of all the there's too many. He's got too many. That's the fucking point. He's got an absolute fucking brain monopoly on mainstream media. So, so the danger is that they're just all referring to each other. None of them are are actually producing the document that they are supposed to have seen, or someone somewhere is supposed to have seen. Well, let's meet someone then, and they can bring the document. But none of them have. None of them. All they do is whipping up a whole load of shit and a whole load of fear, a whole load of anger, a whole load of angst, and almost, what's the word? Beating the drum of war, perhaps? Or trying to, for no reason, because the people who fund and own that lab are from America and UK and Europe. So is it a biological weapon? Absolutely. So I've been saying it from the fucking get-go. Yeah. Right, check. But it wasn't China. It is just a lab in China. It is from the West. So, and not only that, the other thing they're saying, oh, it's going to start a new era of bioweapons. Let me tell you about bioweapons and how long they've been about for, shall I? Bear with me. Biological weapons. New era, is it? Biological warfare, also known as germ warfare, is the use of biological toxins and infection agents such as bacteria, viruses, insects, and fungi intent to kill, harm, or incapacitate humans, animals, or plants. Biological warfare, living organisms, or viruses which are not considered to be alive. Offensive biological warfare is prohibited under the customary international humanitarian law and several international treaties, in particular 1972 Biological Weapons Convention. Well, it's been going back from then. Let's see, look, history. Antiquity, Middle Ages, yeah? We're talking 1500. That's when biological warfare started, guys. So it's not a new phenomenon. They've been doing it for, well, what are we on? Oh my gosh, almost forgot the 500 years plus. quick maths. I'm going to put this in. Yeah. So firstly, 100% man-made. Wasn't made by China. It was made by us. Let's just get that out of the way. Next. Biological warfare has been going on for 500 years. So everyone knows what it is. Except, obviously, the masses. And the inability to see what is right before our faces is unbelievable. I don't even know the words, like. Anyway, so that's that. I'll put all the links in. But they're trying to start a war, make no mistake. Because I was reading this other thing. A lot of people have got a lot to gain from keeping this going on for as long as possible, money-wise. Well, they've already proved it. 664 billionaires have doubled their wealth in the last 6 months. So, at the very least, they've got something to benefit from. Let alone these people who are quite obviously trying to do something a lot more sinister. Yes. I don't really know what to say about it because I just, when you just want people to, you just want to shake people and be like, we have got to do something about this. Now, particularly with this election, I mean, how quickly are they going to try and rattle these through without any checks and balances? These new bills and the election bill. So the people that swapped from Labour to Conservative, right, on the premise that they don't care about Keir Starmer going on, they've literally slapped themselves in the face because they vote for the people that are going to pass this election bill, which are going to take away their rights to vote in the first fucking place if they haven't got an ID. Like, and the thing is, and this is why it's dangerous right now. I don't want to go dwell on it and trigger anyone, but this is why it's dangerous if you've got an addiction right about now, or if you're drinking too much, or doing too many drugs, or not paying attention, because that's when you're at your weakest, when one is at one's weakest, because I'm talking from experience. That is when you get manipulated, and that is when you get controlled, and that's when you get used, and that's when you're not in a state to care or certainly see what's coming. And that's why I just want, there's a lot going on, and I just want everyone to be okay. And something feels really, really wrong. Look at what's going on. Like, I know everything's going to be all right at the same time because I've seen it. So, and I'm being led to the information or the evidence or whatever. So, but that doesn't mean that the time in between is going to be easy. That's why we've got to support each other. So I might be all right here, but there's loads of people all over the world that aren't. And I was watching this. I've got a guy, actually. I'm going to put some videos in. It's called the Asher House, I think. If anyone likes animals, there's some nice feel-good fuzzy videos from this guy who runs an animal sanctuary. He's like the most positive person. So I'll put a link into his channel and his videos because they're really uplifting. As is pit bulls and parolees. I've got a little thing for that program as well. But anything with animals being rescued are good. But the point is this is like an onslaught. What we're going through right now is an onslaught of just the whole situation, isn't it? I mean, I know things are lifting up here, but they're lifting up. Like, the joke of it is that the government as part of, their opening up, is telling you you are allowed to hug now. Fuck off. I've been hugging all the way through, mate. Can't tell you I can and can't hug. And guess what? I haven't had COVID. No one else has had COVID. Surprise. Can't tell me you can fucking hug knobheads. And they still haven't approved when people can stay at other people's houses yet. Because that's the level that they are telling us how to live our lives. If you can even hug someone, if you can stay at someone's house. Excuse me? You must be off your head. So yeah, it's important to get a hobby, get a distraction. Try not to, although, trust me, when I say this, as fun as getting drunk and all of that is, right now, if there was ever a time to try and either go sober or help someone else go sober or just support each other in that whole thing there, it would be now, because you ain't paying attention to anything else that's going on when you're not with it. And when democracy itself and the very freedoms that we treasure are at risk, and are just being slowly chipped away at, and have been for the last 60 months. They've just been chipped away at by sneaky bits of legislation just being passed in here, there, and ever, or not so sneaky with these election voter bills. I mean, they're just blatant, and the police bill as well over here, giving them extra powers. Like, the entire country should be an outrage, but they're not, and that is what's worrying me. Because people are too busy worrying about where their paychecks are coming from, or how they're going to look after their kids, or if they've got food, and all of those things are valid things to be worrying about. And those are all consequences of this pandemic, as is the everyone's the dramatic increase in addictions and overdoses. It's not just here, everywhere, and suicide. We've got to stay, and people be like, oh, it's easy for you to... No, it's not. I've just trained myself to get out of that place. It wasn't easy, and it's still not easy on it sometimes. But I just try and look at what I can do rather than what I can't do. What I can do for myself, or what I can do for others, or what I can do to have a better, happier life, and just surround myself with that. But at the same time, I also have to share what's going on, and that isn't it's not necessarily a nice topic, but things need to be said. Like there's this. What was the one I found? There's another fucking. How are these companies? This is another Dow Chemical one. This has just come out. So this is. They've been another chemical that they've been. This is in every single state in America. Right. Another chemical called TCE, which is TCE is trichloroethylene. So it's a chemical compound found in industrial cleaning products, of which Dow is a manufacturer. Dow have a plant in every state, and in every state around every plant, they have not cleaned up properly and have known they've known for decades that this chemical compound, trichloroethylene, is a carcinogenic, and it causes cancers, and it causes Hodgkin's disease, and it causes Parkinson's disease, and it causes loads of autoimmune diseases like the previous one I told you about. And they've known since the beginning. And they've just been letting that seep out into the soil, into the water table. And there are pockets of cancer outbursts all around these plants as a result of them, and they know it, and they know that chemical. Have they stopped it? No, they haven't. Have they cleaned it? No, they haven't. Have they paid anyone? No, they haven't. Has anyone sued them yet? No, not fully. So it's used in cleaning electronics. It's used in refrigerators. It's used in military bases, because also obviously there's military bases all over the place. Military bases also have got contaminated with this, and around the base. This is literally this is just now. Yeah. They have 34% of all water in America has TCE in it. So if you need, I don't want to be telling people to suck heads here, but I also don't want people to be poisoned by a company. This motherfucker, Dow Chemical, has not only done it with this one. We talked about it the other day. What was the other one? The other one was C8 was DuPont. This is I'm never going to find it on the spot now. That I can't read my notes. What? No chance, right? So they've been doing this with another chemical, similar thing. Haven't paid anyone. Oh, thank you. Haven't paid anyone. Everyone's too afraid to take them to court. Environmental Protection Agency. I'd like to say, what the fuck do you do? Because it seems like you're kind of outsourced for these capitalists / poisonists / murderers / criminals / corruptors / cohorts / just, you know what I mean? Like, I think you're supposed to work for the people, but on the evidence of what I've been seeing on these 3 recent cases, i.e. none, you haven't done anything. You've got the evidence there, but you've not done anything. Or forced them to clear it up, or taken them to court, or got justice. What for? 34% of the population. 34% of the population. 34% of the population has got drinking water with TC in it, and it's a carcinogenic, causes cancers, causes autoimmune diseases, and then you wonder why people are sick. If people have already got underlying, they would have known this. There's a side point here. So these companies know that they've been poisoning the land and the water tables since the 70s. They know that these chemicals are carcinogenics. They've got the research to prove it and internal documents. So they know that they are the ones causing people's sickness. So there's that. And we also know that most people that have, that have had COVID, passed away from COVID, are more likely to have got an underlying disease or condition, because you're going to be more inflamed. We all know about this. Whatever you consume affects your insides. So the more acidic foods you eat, the alcohol, all these things make your alcohol, nicotine, sugar, caffeine, the long list. All of these things affect your inside. They affect you on a cellular level. They make you inflamed. When you're inflamed, you have a higher risk. It means that you're more, your immune system is down if you're inflamed. Inflammation is where cancers occur. It means that you're more likely to get any other disease. So these are all things that are playing on in the background that they know. Then you've got to add on everyone's, drug and alcohol abuse and increasing during this time, on top of which will make you more susceptible to the disease. What I want to know, is I know that not all solicitors, barristers, lawyers, judges, attorneys are parasites. I know that. But some are. And the ones that aren't, they genuinely get into law. And having done law at university, I know, because obviously I was with some people like this. They get into law because they want to make a difference and because justice matters. And I've just totally stolen that slogan off a guy called Glenn Kirshner in the States, who I love. He's got a program called Justice Matters. Yes, it does. It does matter. It fucking does matter. And it matters across the board, though. It should matter across the board. It shouldn't just be one end of society being picked on. It should be where there is a crime, said person should fucking pay. It doesn't matter how much money you've got. It doesn't matter what position you're in. If you're a criminal and you're, a genocidal maniac, for example, then you should be getting caught and going to prison. People are just pussyholes. These people are just letting shit go on all over the world. And what they're going, I'm just going to slap a sanction. What does a sanction fucking do? It does fuck all. It doesn't do anything. It makes it worse, actually. No one's actually making the worst criminals, i.e. dictators, these governments that are around the world, these military coups still going on. Syria's been at war for 10 years. Ethiopia's been at war for how many years as well. Let's go Iran. How many years is that now? 20? What's going on in Israel today? Like, seriously, I want to know where those justice people are. I want to know where the lawyers, the solicitors, the judges, the courts, who actually have a fucking backbone and want to see justice done for the people they're supposed to actually serve in the criminal justice system, to look after, not protect these fucking ruling elites and not protect these corporations and these capitalists. Because that is all that's happened. That is why we're in this fucking mess now. And the joke of it is now as well. So Biden's doing this tax, yeah. So what they do, of course, well, what they do is they do this. Watching Bloomberg TV, big up yourselves. Bloomberg have done a little survey, and all of them are moving. So they had squeaky bum time. Oh no, we're going to have to pay taxes. Oh no, we can't do that. So they just moved to somewhere that don't have no tax laws. So we've got all these big hedge funds. I'm going to name and shame. Exodus, Millennium, Die Capital. Oh, I've got something else to tell you. Tidal Capital. These are huge hedge funds, billions of dollars. Yeah, they don't want to pay no taxes. Of course they don't, because they don't think that they should have to, do they? So what they do is all of those have set up subsidiaries in Puerto Rico, no tax law. Here's the thing. It should not matter where you move. You should have to pay the tax rate of your country of birth. That's the way to get them. Shouldn't matter. Should not matter. It's the only way. There has to be a way to make them pay the taxes that they should fucking pay, like everyone fucking else. So either there's no tax or everyone pays tax, and everyone pays tax. You know what I'm saying? This fucking nonsense here is a joke. So they've all got these subsidiaries here. The other place that there's no, because there's state, federal taxes, and then there's capital gains tax. Yeah. So by moving to having an office in Puerto Rico, you don't have those. But the other place you don't have no state and federal taxes, apparently, or maybe just state taxes on capital gains, is Florida. So they've also been opening up offices in Florida, and they're so confident about how much money they're going to make. They've even put in a plan saying they're going to open up 2 more offices in Florida next year, probably because they're moving everyone out of New York, because that's where the finance capital is at the moment. But because they're bringing in the increased laws, so what? Now they're all going to move out of New York to go try and move their shady shit somewhere else. You see what I mean? It's just a joke. You've got to follow these fuckers around. They should not be able to run from their tax. They should not be able to run from their tax. Oh man, I've got so much. I've got as well. Can we talk about this? I'm going all over the show because obviously I've had 2 days where I haven't done a video, and now I can't even read my notes. This is a nightmare. Look at the state of that. Right. I've got to talk to you about this. And I'm going to offend some people, I'm pretty confident. So, soz. I was watching this program about the fundamental, what is it? No, look, I'm sorry, Mormons, yeah? I'm sorry for what I'm about to say, because I'm sure that not everyone's like this, but like anything, you can't tarnish everyone with the same brush, you know? Like, not everyone. What's an example? An example would be, like, not all men are narcissists as well, but some are. So this is in relation to the Mormon fundamentalist Church of Latter-day Saints, or is it? Yeah, is that right? Fundamental, something like that, where polygamy is the in thing. Although it's not legal, They still do it. Wait, I don't know if you've seen this. Oh my God. Listen, I watched this thing. Now, as I said, I was on a previous video that people were going to do what they want to do in terms of that kind of thing. I don't think anyone has a right. It's what someone else's sex life is nothing to. I'm not interested. I don't think it's from my experience, from people I know. I don't think that dynamic works because it always ends in tears. Yeah. However, that's if that's your choice and you make it work, fine. The problem I've got with this is the ones where, and there's a specific reference I've got here, and they're called the Kingston Clan. Now, I don't know how is it all in Utah? Like, it seems like it's a real thing in Utah. From what I've seen, I could be completely wrong, but it seems like Utah's the polygamy paradise, right? Polygamists' paradise, sorry. The problem I've got with it is there is a direct correlation to polygamy in this fundamental Church of Latter-day Saints or whatever it is. So this is where the man believes, or they all believe, or they've been taught to believe. Sorry. They've been taught to believe by a man who did a side shoot of the original teaching, aka a cult, and just really kind of edited it to, I'm guessing, justify why he wanted to be a polygamist is essentially what I'm getting from it. So he just changed it, and then it has from then polluted the minds of so many people, which in itself I personally believe is a crime. So the problem I've got with this is that they are marrying children, and from an outsider looking in, that is paedophilia, right? So they're marrying kids as young as old men are marrying kids, and marrying because it's not legal, but the state isn't doing anything about this either. They are marrying in their church, not legally, girls as young as 12, and then they're marrying several other girls, and they have to have the girls as well in this fundamentalist offshoot, have to have a child a year. They all have to have every single wife. Say every single wife. Oh, and of which they have many. This Kingston clan, I think he had more than 65 wives. No joke. And then what they do is they want to marry within their clan, which again, as an outsider looking in, is incest. No, I'd say that's incest. So they on this documentary I watched, the guy, the head of this Kingston clan with his 65 wives, and I think it was 100 oh my God, it was a lot. I mean, the immediate family was 3,500. Like, wow. So he'd have say his wives, tree, and then he'd get his first daughter by his first wife to marry his second son by his third wife, that kind of stuff. Yeah, first daughter from first wife to marry second son from third wife. So he's still the dad. And then his children are getting married. He's making them get married. And the way that they justify it, like we want to keep our bloodline pure. These children need help. That's child abuse. That is child abuse. No, that is sexual abuse, child abuse, paedophilia, incest. Need I go on? Crime. Like, what the fuck? How has this gone on for this long? How is this literally? Why is it is illegal, and yet the state of Utah just let them go carry on with that. That is straight child abuse. Some of the people that are escaping from it, the stories that they are telling, because obviously when they're in it, because there's so much, there's a whole community in Utah where everyone's a polygamist, and they're so into the church, their FL, whatever it is, and that's all they've ever known. The women don't. All they do is baby machines, yeah. All they're doing is staying at home, making babies, looking after babies. Think about if you were married, what kind of a dad would you be if you've got 175 kids? How much of a dad would you be to each of those 175? You couldn't. There's no way. You haven't got the time. And they work. He makes them all work for him. He pays them a salary, but then they have to reinvest that money back into the business, and he actually gets the most. So working for nothing as well, right? So the women stay at home. All they do is go to church, make babies, change babies, feed babies, cook, dip. They're not allowed to do anything other than that. They're not allowed to go out. They're not allowed to do anything. Yeah, stay home with their sister wives. That is their lives, right? So they don't get no attention from him either. He can't. It's not physically possible. You'd have if it was over 65 wives, you'd have one day every 2 months, if that. What kind of fucking life is that? What kind of love is that? But they don't know any different. That's all they've been taught to do all their lives, is to become a sister wife. Like, is that not just like the most cultish thing you've ever heard? Like narcissism 101 right there. Like, I want to be I'm going to say this is the way to get to heaven. It's having as many wives as I want, having as many children as I want, so they can work for me, so I haven't got to do anything, so they just fund. Oh, please. And just the abuse. There's another. I've got a few of these. There's another family there, and this guy. I mean, he's just talking about it openly, like it's normal. It's like so deeply concerning that that this is not being brought up as a massive fucking problem. This guy's got this one has got 7 wives, and every single one of them he married and had sex with before when they were like 12, and he was 30. So one is like 13, right? Marries her, gets her pregnant, then marries her mum, then marries her mum's sister, then married, like, you know what I mean? Then married her mum's sister's daughter. Like, what? Why has nothing been done about that? And not only that, they even kind of glamorize polygamy by having loads of programs about it. And there was another family, a documentary I watched of a different family, and they were trying to cut. They'd actually left the fundamentalist thing, and they were kind of saying, "Oh no, we don't mind gay people, and we're kind of real hip." And he had 5. How many did he have? He had 5 wives and 25 kids. So he'd spend every 5th night with a wife. And one of the 5, they were taught that there was an interview with a news reporter, and she was, sort of asking the wives, like, how do you sort of deal with that? Do you sort of ever think about, do you get jealous? And you could see them, none of them wanted to answer the fucking question. And they're like, oh, no. And then one in the middle was like, oh, no, I've thought about leaving. But they guilt trip her. She blatantly, obviously wants to leave. And she was quite candid, and she was like, but everyone says I will just destroy the family if I go. Can you imagine the psychological abuse of just that? You'll destroy our whole family if you leave. I mean, I've never heard anything so fucking manipulative in my life. Try to force her to stay, even though she quite clearly wants to go. And she was there was a bit of her with the husband, and she was crying because she was out of the 5, she was obviously very body conscious because the other 4 were stick thin. And so that in itself would be that would mess up your mental health. It would, even if they didn't do anything, just psychologically it would. Because you'd be constantly comparing yourself, even if you didn't mean to, want to. It'd just be eating away at you. And she was with the guy, and she was crying, and she was like, obviously you must prefer skinny women. And I just feel ugly, and you don't want me. And he's like, obviously I want you, I don't want the others. And all this kind of, it's like, what, you're married to 5 women, you psycho. Like, 1 is enough, surely. Like, we are demanding creatures, as are men, sorry, but like, what? Why would you do that to yourself? Why would anyone? But the main point of it, sorry, I was going to go on a side rant there, that polygamy is personal choice. The problem is when it's with children, and that is how this is not. That is not the thing that's being focused on, and how the incest is not being more spoken about making your child here marry that child there. Like, that should be what's really being talked about, or you know what I mean, something being done about it, because these kids can't get out, because they're kind of caged. They don't know any different. That's the thing. If they don't go to a school that's got other kids from other backgrounds in it, they'd never know, would they? If you went to a school just with other polygamous kids, you would never know about anything outside of that, because they make sure that you didn't, quite clearly, because they don't let them do anything. How dangerous is that? That's not a religion, that is a cult. That's the cult of 1. That guy, that original guy. And there's another, I mentioned about Scientology. Don't even get me started. I'm going to put a link. I've got a video for you. The guy who left there just recently, he is telling some stories. Oh, the Inner Circle. It is good. It's a good watch. If you've got time. So where was I? Oh my gosh. Listen, Sean Atwood, this guy, who does a true crime channel, he has got a video on, it's called, I think it's called, what is it? I won't be able to find it quick enough now. Melinda Gates, right? something about their divorce being to do with, wait for it, Bill Gates and Epstein. This does not surprise me in any way. I didn't know anything about this, but there is a connection there. So there's been hints apparently of this, and that Bill Gates was obviously a very difficult person, which again doesn't surprise me. He's a psychopath. Very difficult person to be married to, very difficult person to live with, and apparently he cheated, and also this connection between him and Epstein, and he's been on the Lolita Express, which is the Epstein's jet to his private island. Why would anyone go? Why would anyone who wasn't a paedophile go to that island? Tell me. They wouldn't, would they? You wouldn't be there, because he also went on it after Epstein had already been convicted the first time. So he was on the sexual offenders list, and then Bill Gates went there. He's on the logs. So I want to know what that is about. In fact, and this is going back to the judges getting backbones and the attorneys. There are good attorneys out there, sure of it. No, I know there are. So they should just all club together. Judges, courts, all these good barristers, solicitors, attorneys, attorney generals, all of those club together and make Maxwell. You cannot at this point let her get away with it. You cannot. She has to have her day. She has to go to court. She has to have a trial. We can't let her plead out. That would just be the shittest for everyone everywhere. All of the victims got to have a day in court. You've got to all come out. We should all have those names of those paedophiles. They need to come out. It's time. Yeah, they can't keep getting away with this shit. It's just a joke. Just because of what? Because their title and their money. That's not justice then, is it? It's not justice. That's just you've just created a paid system where whoever's got the most amount of money gets away with whatever they want. And the more money you got, the worse it can get. And you get away with it. Well, that system needs to change. That is not justice. And no one, if you can't trust the system where justice is not equal, regardless of race, regardless of religion, regardless of money, regardless of title, status, whatever. It makes a mockery of the whole thing. So yeah, I've got loads more. I'll put all the links in as always. There's no way I'm going to be able to fit them all in. I've got about 3 pages that look like that. So, just before I go, sorry, just remembering. Some good news. They have got this thing in there's a few actually, but the main one that's just come up, that's just opened, is a homeless tiny village. So this guy is called Hope. It's actually called Hope of the Valley. Hope of the Valley, it's called. So this guy has bought this like disused lot of land in LA. And they've just completely converted it, and they've put in loads of tiny houses. They've put in, I can't remember. I think it's about I mean, it's obviously he's just started it, so he's got 2 projects. One's in LA, one is another area, and it's 75. I think it sleeps 75 beds, and they're all little tiny houses, and they've got a communal area. They give everyone food. It's supposed to, be able to help them kickstart their lives again, give them somewhere safe and secure to live. They also have, which is really important, because it's not just about giving someone, well, it's just helping, isn't it? It's giving people another chance and giving them a home. But also, which is really important, is they have on-site facilities for rehabilitation, drugs, advice on that kind of thing, advice on, where to go from there. It gives them somewhere they can use as an address to get a job. I mean, it's just like, love that guy. The guy that's done this. They should be everywhere. So then you'd be moving the people that have moved into these tent encampments and move them into little tiny houses. So they've got their own little tiny house. Or what I said before, that must be a year ago now. Homes for homeless. So I don't know how it works in America. I'm guessing the same sort of way. So over here, anyone that's got loads of derelict building. Not when I say derelict, I'm not talking about derelict. I'm talking about empty, vacant. That's a better word, isn't it? So there's loads of vacant buildings, but essentially they're perfect inside. So you've got, particularly in town centres, because it's just like mass exodus, isn't it, these days? But in town centres, you're going to have loads of buildings that have been built for offices or whatever, and they're just now vacant as everyone's moved out or it's shut down or whatever. So they're really easy to convert into flats because they've already got all of the piping, they've already got all of the electricity, they've already got all of the... talk to me about what this is. Plaster. You know what I mean? So it'd be really quick and cheap to convert them into like one bed sits or 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom flats to rent. And the way it would work over here, because I've seen a program on it, is you could buy for people that have the money and the inclination to do so, buy the property, do the renovations, and then sell it back to the council at a profit. You could do it that way, or you could just rent them individually yourself, and it would be covered by the council for covering the costs by a housing benefit. So either way, you could guarantee, it would be guaranteed if you work out the population in each, of homeless people, and then you've just provided that many homes for homeless people, or have many people on waiting list. So it's like guaranteed. That would be a guaranteed constant income, and you would be providing homes for homeless people that are on the waiting list for council houses. But you could obviously just do it with people that are homeless. Anyway, that was just, I will share that though, because you got to see these tiny houses, they're so cool. And there's a couple of places, but everyone should do that, everywhere. He's done this in this year. Big up to him. There's loads of people that are donating stuff. They have an on-site washing room, like laundry, and all of the good stuff. It's all about opportunity, new chances. So I know I started in a weird note and I kind of ended on a higher note. But the point is, we need to know, we need to be aware of what's going on. There's no point in burying a head in the sand, because burying a head in the sand and ignoring what is before our eyes is dangerous on so many levels. And having been somebody who's been manipulated and lied to and used and abused for a long time, I just won't have it. I won't have it no more. I won't have it for anyone either. And what happens is when you kind of get out of it and you see it for what it was, it becomes real easy, particularly when you've got a clear head and you're drinking green tea and getting up at 4. You get it becomes very obvious when people are lying to you. It's like it just becomes really obvious. And then all you need to do is do a quick search, and then boom. Oh my god, an hour and 11 minutes. I'm so sorry. 7:54. Shut up. Right, enough. I'm gonna go. I love you guys. So, although maybe stressful, everything's gonna be fine. Just hold on. Find someone to talk to, whatever it is. It's better out than in, my mum always says. And the great thing is, everyone's going through the same, experiencing it differently, because everyone, reacts differently to things. We all deal with emotions differently, but everyone is going through something. Everyone has gone through something, is going through something, will go through something. Everyone therefore has experience to share that is valid right now. And the other thing to remember is, however low we think our problems are or experiences, I instantly give myself a little slap, because I'm not, I have to remind myself that there are people around that are living in a war zone, that are starving, that have no water, and how can my problem, no matter what problem I've got, I'm all, you know what I mean? I should be able to deal with it, because if they are, how strong are they? 10 years of war. How mentally strong must they be to survive? All that they have survived, and continue to survive, and continue to believe, and continue to have faith. So much, just really humbling. It makes me realize, just want to do better, try harder, and just do whatever I can to help as many as I can. Yeah, thank you. So we strive on. Every day is a new mission. And I hope you have a glorious day, whatever you do, wherever you are, whatever time it is. And I will see you later for more nonsense. Love you.